Come on in the house, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, it's a beautiful day to be alive, and I'm glad to be here. Welcome. Welcome to Love Coach Sessions Live. I am your host, Kelvin Troy Johnson, KTJ. They call me the Love Coach, and this is our daily show. We are getting back on track with after coming off a vacation and laying on the beach. I got a lot of good insights and a lot of thoughts around these topics of dating, relationships, and love. And you guys, if you have a topic, something that needs to be talked about, something that's going on, and you guys know relationships have existed since men existed. Okay, so there's always something to talk about. And I've gotten inbox messages, and you know, since I was away most of the week, I'm going to keep on producing shows probably through the weekend. Oh, and yeah, just so stay in touch with us. Please connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at lovecoachatlanta.com as well. But at the name is on there is Love Coach Atlanta. All right, so let's get into it, you guys. Today we have an interesting topic we want to get into. If you guys think this is an interesting conversation to have, please feel free to share this out. Hit that like button. We need everybody to hit that like button and to share. Hit the share button as we talk about this topic that I think is a very important topic. I think that there are people who are in jail today. There are people who are not alive today. There are people who could not overcome the rejection, the difficulty, the hardness, the fact that somebody didn't want them. And so they took drastic measures. And now it has impacted their lives and other people's lives forever. So I think this is a topic that needs to be talked about, how to let them go. How to let them go. Every day in the news, you see situations where there is a domestic dispute. The man, man and his woman, his wife or his girlfriend, like they get into a domestic dispute. The police say these are the worst calls they get. The police say these are the most dangerous calls they get. A couple who are fighting, a couple that's going at each other, and the police are called. And since the police are called, they show up. You guys, don't forget to jump in the chat if you guys have a conversation. So you have a comment here. Jump in the chat, or also if you're catching this on the replay later on, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. These calls are domestic disputes, and oftentimes, now listen, I've known people who got together and they said, "Oh, we never fight. We never have a conflict," which is probably bull, right? And I'm telling you that having a conflict in a relationship is actually healthy. It's actually unhealthy to not have a conflict in your relationship. If your relationship is so perfect that y'all never fight, y'all never have a disagreement, you never have a crossword, then there's something wrong with that relationship. Okay? There's something wrong there. If you're with somebody and y'all agree all the time, one of you is irrelevant. You don't need to be with somebody who agrees with everything you say. Now, to the contrary, you don't need somebody who is contrary to everything you say either. You don't need to be with somebody who's oppositional to everything. You say black, they say white. You say up, they say down. Like over and over, whatever you say, they want to say the opposite. Now, listen, I'm what they call a real devil's advocate. Like I can kind of see the point of view from the other guy's shoes and state that. That's cool, right? but it's not on every issue. There's some people who they have a conflict on every issue. Listen, that person's not right for you. On every issue, you say Chinese, they say pizza. You say live in a single family dwelling, they say, no, I'd rather live in an apartment. Like, everything is oppositional. Can't even agree on the paint colors. There's a problem. And listen to this, you guys. Before a situation becomes domestic, before it gets out of control, before the cops are called, there are these little points of contention that people skip by and don't address. Very little points of contention. Very little points. But guess what? If you stack up 10,000 matchsticks, you can cause a forest fire. You can have a big roaring fire. One little matchstick probably won't burn much of anything. Probably blow itself out. Even 3 or 4, probably they'll probably blow themselves out. But 10, 20, okay, we're getting excessive. So we did a show before about this. Like, how long, how many oppositional points, how many fights, how many arguments do you have before you say, okay, this is not working out? Then what do? And I'm telling you guys, there are more people online talking about falling in love. There are more people online talking about finding the one. There are more people on talking about, how to find a girl, how to find a guy, how to get the man, how to get the woman, how to make them fall in love with you, all these things. And look, I'm actually okay with all of that, right? Because it's information and it's conversation about connection that is necessary. But very rarely do you hear people talking about how to properly break up. There's somebody, I did a story one time talking about struggle love. Talk about what they call it cemetery love, something like that. Like, cemetery love, meaning I'm going to love you until the day you die. And they mean that. And some of these people don't know how. Look, they would like to leave you alone. They would like to not deal with you. Or even you might like to break free from somebody, but how do you actually do it? That's what we're going to talk about in this show today. How do you actually do it? That's what we're going to talk about. So look, if this has been you, I need you to drop a comment down below and say hashtag this is me. If you've ever been in one of these situations, I need you to drop that hashtag this is me. I've been there. Let me know that you guys have are understanding what's going on here. So this is a topic for us to talk about. There's a couple people in the news that have broken up. You guys know we're still going through the pandemic situations, and there are some people who are breaking up during the pandemic. I've had to encourage a few people to say, listen, it's a pandemic. People are scared. People are nervous. People are in a role that they're not used to being in. Don't make a permanent decision in an emotional state. This goes for whether you're in the pandemic or whatever you're dealing with. Don't make a permanent decision in an emotional state. Okay? Make sure you're calm. Make sure you're resolute. Make sure you're making the right decision. Okay? Make sure. So I think that this is important to have this conversation about this. So how do you let them go? Well, first of all, let's get into it. Number one, the first thing you need to do is decide. Is this a deal breaker? Have you come to the point that you realize this just ain't working and it ain't gonna work? Now, I always suggest to people, like, if you really care about somebody, maybe you need to seek a counselor, seek therapy, a love coach, find someone who can have the conversation and help you to see how the person is communicating. Sometimes it's just about how people communicate. It's not that they're a bad person. It's not that you're a bad person. It's just the way you are communicating. There are some good people who are breaking up with some good people because they don't know how to communicate. You say something, I say something. You are saying it from your view. They're receiving it from their view, trying to think about how you're thinking about the situation. It's a lot of thinking, right? And sometimes people get frustrated. They get emotional because somebody doesn't understand the communication, and the communication is going like this as opposed to going like this. Stephen Covey had a book. He said in his book, 7 Habits, Highly Effective People, one of his chapters was begin with the end in mind. How do you want the situation to pan out in the end? Nobody gets into a relationship to argue, to fuss, to be angry, to be upset. People get in a relationship to feel better, to feel loved, to feel warm, to feel embraced. But some people don't have the communication strategies to make that happen. Listen, a lot of people are operating on the communication style that they learned from their mama, from their daddy, from their grandma. Maybe you grew up with your grandparents and your grandpa and grandma. They got their own special way of communicating. Grandma does all the talking. Grandpa gives a few words of conversation, and then goes and do whatever it was he was going to do anyway. But somehow, before the end of the night, he comes back and slide back in and gives grandma something that she wanted, and they go to bed happy. Okay? Now, if that's how you grew up watching communication, guess what? You might actually think that is a healthy way to be. You might think, or the opposite, right? So but let's say you thought that was a healthy way to be. But then you get a man who doesn't want to hear any yelling, doesn't like fuss, doesn't like rah-rah. He likes simple communication, right? And you might just operate like grandma. When it seems like it's getting there, you get loud, you get abrasive. And guess what? He starts to walk away. He starts backing up from you. But guess what? He doesn't come back. He doesn't go sleep in the other room. He goes and gets a hotel room and sleep there for a night or two. And then you mad. Okay? Because where he came from, when you said get out, that meant get out and don't come back. But you meant just for a couple hours. Communication, you guys. I'm telling you, there are some great couples who lost their ability to communicate. So then they figure, away with it. I don't need this. But it's just communication. And so I think so number one, like, we have to begin with the end in mind and talk about like why are we together? I want to hear more people talking about that. Everybody's talking about being in love. Everybody's talking about finding love. I'm talking about once you think you got somebody, or let's say you're seeing somebody. Why are we together? What do we have in common? What brings us together? And what's going to keep us together? As we see in the media, if you're trying to build a relationship on sex, that is sinking sand. Because it's your lowest nature. It's your most animalistic thing that you possess. And after that, it's nothing. And nobody is that good. Nobody is that voluptuous. Nobody is that well endowed that sex is enough to keep somebody. It's not. It is not. You have to have a deeper desire to be together and a meeting points that bring you together, that wrap your life around their life. Okay. So another thing, when you're at that point where you're deciding to let somebody go, I always suggest getting some support, right? Because sometimes you think it's them and it's really you. Sometimes you think they are the problem, but you're really the problem. So I encourage people, look, talk to somebody who is not biased towards you. Sometimes you got some friends and you say, girl, he did this, and this. And them girls say, leave him. I don't want to hear nothing else. Leave him. Right? But then you might have some of those friends that say, after you say, he did this, and this, they say, okay, so what did you do? What did you do that may have caused him to do this, and this? Is it necessarily all his fault? Or did you say something that caused this situation? You need some real friends who will call you out. So maybe some good friends, maybe somebody that you respect, a pastor, a leader of some sort, somebody that you can talk to who will tell you the truth. All right. So getting support. And especially, listen to this, especially if you actually plan to leave. When it's all over, you need a team of support. I heard a story the other day of a young woman. She was moving in. She moved in with her boyfriend. Like she's like 20 or so. Moved in with her boyfriend. They lived together about 4 months. Realized, look, because you can like somebody really. You can like somebody a lot. You can even think that you love a person a lot. But when y'all gotta live together day to day, you realize, wait a minute. So she realized this situation was not good for her. So she was getting ready to pack her things, had her mom at the house, and her mom and her was getting in the car, and someone else was there and getting in the car. The other person got in the car already. The boy drove up, blocked them in, pulled out a gun, and shot the girl and her mother, killing both of them. All because he didn't know how to handle letting her go. I'm telling you, listen, some of these people have some mental issues that, listen, their reason for even wanting to be with you has nothing to do with you. It has to do with you covering the holes, you being the balm for their sore, for their festering sore. But look, if you only come with Vaseline and they need an antibiotic, they need stitches. Some of these people have deep wounds, y'all. Come on, are y'all listening to me today? Some of these people have deep wounds that go all the way deep down to the bone. And putting some Vaseline on a wound that goes to the bone is not going to help. I don't care if you put it on there and put a nice big bandage over it. It's not going to help. That sore, that thing is going to get infected unless it gets the proper treatment of being dressed appropriately and sewed up appropriately. Sewing it up might hurt the person. Sewing it up might make them feel like the wound is worse. like just as bad as getting the wound in the first place, right? But it's the only way for them to get healing. That's them addressing their own mental issues. Some of these people, you don't even know why they want to be with you. You don't even know why they want to be your boyfriend, why they want to be your girlfriend, why they want to marry you. I want to marry you. And for you, you just been waiting your whole life for the hand of the prince. They told you in the storybook that the prince was coming to take you away. Well, hold on now, because some of these princes want to take you some places that you don't really want to go. You don't know where they're trying to take you. Some of these people need some mental health evaluations. Talking about they want to get married. Why? Listen. Look, when I'm doing these sessions, I'm asking some real questions. Why? Why do you want to get married? Why do you want me to be your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever? What is it that you're hoping that I'm going to give you as a result of being with you, being your partner? What are you hoping to gain? And listen, and don't tell me I want to be with you because of love. No. There's something that you feel that you're calling love that I'm giving to you that you're receiving, and you call it love, but it's not love. It's attachment. I'm going to bring my friend on one of these shows. My friend Corey, she talks about this attachment, the attachment theory. There's a good reason why some people connect with other people. It's attachment. Some people are fulfilling they're the bomb for toxicity. Look, some of these people want a husband because they don't want to feel the abandonment that they've felt, that they've carried. So they hang on in there and hope that a husband will save them. Hope that a wife will make you feel like a man after that other person made you feel less than a man. Now this one right here, she's not like the last one. She's nothing like my ex. She does these things and these things. And wait a minute. Who's going to ask, why do you need all those things done? Oh, so you're just using her to make you feel better about your own insecurities. Come on, man. Listen. I know I'm the love coach, but I'm going to help somebody today. And some of these people, somebody going to get this and decide to take a look at their relationship for what it actually is. A business deal. For what it actually is. A Florence Nightingale triage. Go that way. Florence Nightingale tending to his wounds. Captain Savaho. Just saving her from all her problems. You think it's love, but it's really saving. You think it's sincere, but it's really insecurity. Yes. And because you kissed them and the brain caught the signal from the lips and blew up, excitement, whoa, this must be the person, because A plus B equals C. Person in front of me kissed my lips, my brain popped. It must mean I'm in love. But meanwhile, you're not addressing any of the issues that you have, nor the issues that they have. You just want to be in love. Look, there's nothing wrong with it. Look, everybody wants to be loved. But just make sure that you're understanding what that actually means for you. Make sure you're understanding what that actually means for you. Make sure you understand what that actually means for you. You want to break up. Finally let him go. Look, you understand. Here's a point for you. After you have decided that this person you don't want in your life, you have to get rid of everything associated with that person in your space. Look, you can't follow them on social media and say you're getting them out of your life. You have to block them on all channels. You have to block their phone number, block their social media, block all things related to them in order to get them out of your life and get them out of your mental life. Listen to this. People, there are people who are thinking about somebody from 35 years ago, from 45, 50, 60 years ago, still in the brain. You haven't been in high school in 40 years. You still think about that person. Still think about them from 30 years ago, 20 years ago. For some of y'all, you need to go find them and just marry them. You've been thinking about them now that long. Maybe that's who you're supposed to be with. Or maybe they are just connected to your toxicity. And they feel warm and it feels possible. But you have to understand that other person is no longer that person that they used to be, because they kept growing and kept living. But you can get stuck in your mind thinking that they are. After you have cleared out all remnants of them, do not call them. Do not wish them happy birthday. Do not wish them Merry Thanksgiving. I don't care what it is. Cease and desist all contact from them. Most of the time, people get the point. But if you bring them back up, if you reach out, if you call them, then that brings that thought back fresh into your mind. And now they're in your mind. And the mind is powerful. Look, I believe in this thing called magnetic attraction. I believe that you can somehow psychically call people, like connect your thinking about somebody, sending those waves, those mental waves to that person, and have them all of a sudden have a thought about you. Have you ever had that happen? Come on, let's be honest. Synchronicity. You thinking about somebody, and then the phone rings and it's them. And you're like, I can't believe that. I was just thinking about you. Yes, thoughts are things. And if you spend your time thinking about them, you're sending the wave to them, strengthening the connection mentally. And it's just a matter of time. Somebody's going to call somebody, and you're back at it again. Back at it again. All right, listen, that's it for today. Look, hit me up on that Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Love Coach Atlanta. If you need a Love Coach session, hit me up and we can hook you up. As well, I need you all to join the Patreon community. Look, you could be a part of the show. You can. I'll give you a shout out. Just $5 helps you support this show and helps this get out to more people. All right. If you think this content is good stuff, share it with your friends. Hit that share button. Please hit the like button on your way out. And until next time, peace and love. Bye.